Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Marzuki Hamzah, and today I will explain about my mini project on ECE431. I'm from group EE413E. So, this mini project is carried about 30% of marks. So, the language in this mini project is C++ programming. So the question has 4 sections, which is section 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each student will obtain different equation and different equation in section 2. So the equation that that I get is tangent x plus log x. And the equation for section 2 that I obtain is one is get highest value of first 100 value of fx and minus from each of fx. Number 2, get the standard deviation of last 100 value of fx and add to each of fx. 2.3, get average of first 50 and last 50 value of fx and minus from each of fx. So this is my flowchart. To begin with, you must enter any option that you want, and we display the user data. So it will be case 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I will explain about my coding. So this is my coding. So if user select option number 1, the function display data forward intx which is value, index min, index max will be called. So this function need two integer parameter, which is the minimum value and maximum value. It will calculate the operation between the maximum value to the maximum value entered by user and display the value of fx and x at the range in array. It will then return variable result to the calling function, which is function main. If user select case 2, which is option number 2, function get value final fx in bracket value index min index max will be called. So this function will ask the user to key in two integers parameter, which is the minimum value and maximum value. It used to get the value of final fx in this operation standard deviation of the last 100 values of fx, the average of the first 50 and last 50 value of fx, and the highest value of the first 100 value of fx will calculate. For standard deviation of last 100 values and the highest value of the first 100 value of fx, to get the final fx is by adding to each of fx, while for average of the first value 50 value and last 50 value of fx is by minus from each of fx, and it will keep the result in variable final fx by each operation. Then it will return variable result to the calling function. Next, if user select option number 3, function get value final fx, value, index min, index max will be called. So this function is related to the option number 2, where the value of final fx and x calculate is used. The reason of this function form is to save the value of user need in a form of file. The result will save into name of file, which is a final fx .txt. Next, this function also need user to enter range value that they want to find. By saving in file, user can easily access by just open the file. It is because it will read a final x and x from the file and display within the range of x entered by user. At the end, it will then return variable f final x to the calling function. Last, if user select option 4, function get value final at fx value index max will be called. This function is used to analyze data by dividing f-final x to the 5 quantile based on the value of f-final x. For each quantile, it will display average, standard deviation, maximum and minimum of f-final x. This function helps the user to analyze data, differentiate to option number 1, 2, and 3. At the end, it will return variable f-final x to the calling function, which is function main. So let's start run the coding. So this is my coding. So I use online C++ compiler to get my result. So let's run. So if you can see, it display my equation, which is fx tangent x plus log tan x. So this is option number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So I will test option number 1. So we need to enter minimum value, which is 1 and to 160.5. So I will choose the minimum value is 10, maximum value is 20. So this is the result. Let's go test option number 2. I will choose minimum value 20, maximum value is 30. So we display the average, highest, and standard deviation. So I will test the option number 3. Enter the maximum value. And it will show the result. So number 4, option number 4. So it show the average, standard deviation, maximum and minimum, and for 5 quantiles, result of 5 quantiles. So this is the result that I get after I run my coding. So I think that's all for me. Thank you.